Ooh, that's good. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Ree. Welcome back to my channel, Come As You Are, where I teach you how to transform your mind so you can really transform your life, no matter where you may find yourself in life, all right? I'm on my way out to the gym, but I said before I get all sweaty, let me do my video real quick and drop y'all with some gems. So a lot of people ask me, what are some quick ways just to elevate? Like, what are some quick ways just to get to the next level? Because I'm often talking about long-term results, focusing on long-term equaling long-term results, which is ultimately key. Having a mindset of building your endurance, your patience, your perseverance, consistency, discipline, those things for long-term results. But also, I can just really quick give you guys some real quick keys on how you can really start thinking, how you can start implementing some thoughts into your mind to really start applying and seeing some changes in your life. So they ultimately do feed into the long-term results that I do often talk about. So these are just some of the tips that you can start thinking about and implementing now. Okay. Everything that I share with you guys is meant for automatic implementation, but I understand that not everybody is at the same level. So if that's you, sit back, relax. I'm going to teach you guys 3 quick tips on how to get to your next level. All right, so number 1, in order to take yourself to the next level, you need to quiet the noise. What do I mean by that? You need to monitor your gates and monitor what you're feeding your spirit. You need to be very, very aware of what you're putting in your eyesight. You need to be very, very cautious and aware of what you're listening to. So what you're watching on TV, how much time you're on social media, who you're watching on social media, what kind of level of entertainment are you watching? Is it negative or positive? What kind of music are you listening to? And this is not to restrict you from being able to enjoy your life, but it's just to be very mindful and very wise in knowing that spirits have a way of entering through different. You ever listen to a song and wonder why you feel a certain type of way? Like, you could be in a really good mood and you listen to a song and it's like about a bunch of R&B song that's about a bunch of heartbreak. And don't get me wrong, I'm a 90s baby, so I love me some R&B, but I can't listen to it all the time. I can't listen to everything all the time, and I can't watch TV. I don't watch TV. And even you have to be mindful of how much time you're giving to social media, because, if it's not inspirational, then it's ultimately taking you away from your purpose. It's not putting you in a direction of putting you in a spirit, a state, in a direction of where you're actually headed, where you're trying to go, and the levels you're trying to reach. Your spirit man is very important. And I just want you guys to just be aware of that it's really real out here. Like, it's really real out here. And what you're ultimately feeding your spirit matters. It matters. So, baby steps. You don't have to cut social media out altogether, right? From the rip, or cut TV off altogether, even what you're reading. Like, you don't have to cut everything out, like, completely, because even though this is a quick tip for you to implement to see quick results, we still think long term. So we don't want to overwhelm ourselves to make ourselves feel deprived, because that depravity is what will ultimately get us to revert back to old habits and patterns of behaviors we do not want. So baby steps. If you are on social media 3-5 hours a day, see if you can cut that in half. See if you can at least cut back an hour from off of that time. Like, you really want to make it sustainable for you. So that's number one. You really want to just monitor what you're putting in your eyesight, what you're listening to, and also who you're entertaining. This will bring me to my next one, but who you're entertaining. So that's number one. You want to quiet the noise, monitor your gates, okay? 2, step away from the crowd. I wanted to sip some tea on that. Let that marinate. You got to step away from the crowd. And in order to do that, you have to know who is your crowd and who is your community. Your crowd is oftentimes your distractions. They're the people, places, and things that take you away from your calling. They're the people, places, and things that do not aid, help, edify, push you anywhere towards your calling. I believe there may be more, but there's 2 types of people. They either push you towards your calling, push you to God, push you towards your purpose, or they pull you away. Your crowd is often the ones that will pull you away. Even if the crowd will always be attracted to you. Let's take Jesus, for instance. Jesus often withdrew. If you read the scriptures, Jesus often withdrew from the crowds. He often withdrew from the crowds. The crowds would come to him. They would be attracted to him. And he would preach, the message, and the crowds would just keep following and following everywhere that he went. But Jesus would withdraw to his sacred space to be alone with him and God. And most of the time he was with his folks. He was with his folks. He was with the disciples. And that was his community. His community was those that followed him, but also uplifted him, held him accountable, seen him work his miracles. He taught them. And I'm just thinking about this. They probably did hold him accountable, because if he's showing all these signs and wonders, it will ultimately keep you going. And they wanted the best for Jesus. Like, Peter was a rider. Peter was a rider. All his disciples was riders. So you got to know who's your community and who's your crowd, and be able to separate them. Okay? Because separate yourself. I'm sorry. You want to be, and you got to be able to separate yourself, because the crowd will often attract to you, especially when you start walking in your calling, y'all. You become very attractive. You become very attractive to any and almost everybody. But you want to be mindful. You have to be cognizant of who's really going to help, who's really wants the best for you and is going to help you get there, and who's going to take away from that. Okay? And this is just one thing. This is just one thing why it's important to get, to have a relationship with God, to say, what, to really start to hone in on what's my purpose, because your purpose will help be that measure between who needs to stay and who needs to go. And it's no hard feelings. It's no bad blood. It's no, it's just nothing personal. It just is what it is. That took me a while to get. And that's a quick tip, y'all. That'll take you from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm trying to tell y'all, know who's your crowd, separate, and don't be afraid to step away from your crowd. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, you want to get a vision. You want to get a vision. You want to get a vision. You want to get a vision for yourself. The Bible talks about where there is no vision, the people perish. You want to be able to see yourself beyond your current circumstance, beyond your current situation. And I truly believe that God gave us all the ability to imagine. He gave us all the ability. I believe he gave us all the ability to imagine, to have imagination. And for some people, it may require you to think back, not think so logically, and think back to your childhood. Become very childlike. Like the Bible does talk about entering the kingdom of God as a child. And a lot of us as adults, we put away, we stopped imagining. We started thinking realistically, because we have picked up certain responsibilities as to where we cannot entertain our imaginary thoughts. And I believe that that is a gift from God for us to be able to get a vision, get a hold of what innately speaks to our heart, and what he wants for our lives, and it ultimately plays into our purpose and our calling and who we are. But society and just maturity, what we consider maturity and thinking logically, it's like, oh, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to imagine. We don't have time to dream. We don't have time for, listen, get a vision. Get a vision for your life and write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain, and then pray. Pray, give it to God, ask him to authorize it and to confirm it. All right. I just wanted to drop that on y'all. I hope y'all having a good and blessed day. Getting after these goals. I'm about to go work out.